President Cyril Ramaphosa has signed the climate change bill into law, which is aimed at enhancing South Africa's ability to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and build climate resilience. Now, the Climate Change Act is aimed at promoting opportunities in emerging green economies. South Africa's mitigation measures are a response to climate change, which is expected to severely impact poorer communities and hinder the country's ability to meet its developmental and economic growth goals. Let's make sense of where we are. Bring in Siyabonga Myez, who's climate and energy campaigner with Greenpeace Africa and joins us via our video link this morning. Sia, it's lovely to see you. Welcome to the SABC News Channel. I suppose the first question for many people who are trying to make sense of this development is, in what way does this piece of legislation alter how South Africa is able to respond to climate change?
Thank you for having us. So, of course, as Greenpeace, we welcome the signing of the bill by President Cyril Ramaphosa. And definitely, we know that this is a significant step towards South Africa's commitment to addressing the climate crisis, and also a step for South Africa towards taking responsibility for the carbon emissions. But also the bill aims to help the country transition from the current heavy reliance on carbon-based energy to cleaner economy while addressing the important development needs. And it also a step for South Africa to provide leadership, climate leadership in the continent, particularly in the pathways for fair, transparent and just transition that leaves no one behind.
Sure. What kind of practical impact does it have on how, for example, some of our companies in the country are operating? Because we do know that a bulk of those greenhouse gas emissions that you speak about come from the likes of our petroleum companies, perhaps Sasol. Eskom, of course, comes to mind. We have a number of coal-powered fire stations that are still in operation. Does this piece of legislation have an impact on ways in which those kind of businesses and companies operate?
It certainly does. So currently the bill's proposal is to ensure there is a cooperation on national and provincial levels and decentralized action around that. But also, I think what we see on the bill is the proposal allocation for carbon credits, which talks directly to how companies and big operations function. Of course, it's unfortunate that the bill still allocates for carbon credits. As Greenpeace Africa and using our research data, carbon credit and budget are a false solution in an attempt at greenwashing, resulting in that carbon credit allowing big polluters to justify their actions within or without taking responsibility for their emissions. However, the bill does also provide opportunities and some challenges, of course, for the companies. If we can look at a few challenges that companies will face in how they operate at the moment, they will need to adjust their operations to meet the allocated budget, which may involve changing production processes, energy usage, supply chain management. This can be complex and time-consuming for industries that are heavy in emissions. Also, for those companies in high emitting sectors, they will be in a competitive disadvantage and also have to meet high compliance costs. But also there are opportunities there provided by this bill. There is an opportunity for companies to invest in new technologies and processes that will improve their efficiency and reduce emissions, of course. But also there is a space to explore new opportunities, business opportunities in sectors of renewable energy efficiency, and of course, providing or creating job opportunities in a whole new industry around renewable energy and clean, sustainable sources.
Yeah.
So we can see there's a variety of opportunities, but also challenges as well.
Absolutely. And I was just about to ask you about the economic spin-offs, but you've just spoken about job creation. We know some of the impact of climate change sometimes disproportionately disproportionately affects poorer communities. But another kind of sustained issue has been around how to hold accountable those companies and businesses that don't comply to those limitations. And I wonder if this bill has any kind of clarity around the sanctions for people who don't, quite frankly, toe the line insofar as their carbon emissions are concerned. If you can just respond to that briefly.
Sure. It's the bill does provide a few guidelines there, but I think what will be more important, it will be the success of this bill will depend on the effective implementation, enforcement, and continuous evaluation of these provisions. Because we have many laws also in South Africa that are trying to guide, especially the health and safety and environmental issues, but it's all in the enforcement and implementation of these provisions that will help us see the change that the bill provides.
All right, Siyabonga Myez, thanks very much indeed for speaking to us. We appreciate your time. Sia is with Greenpeace Africa as we make sense of the newly signed climate bill.